said it better than most people say it. They usually say Labasco. Yes, you said it correctly.
Well, thank you, Peter, for coming on. I'll say it again, Peter Lavasco.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And you know what? This is the first time I've actually ever heard your voice, so I'm very excited to hear that you have the true New England Gloucester accent.
We do. I do have the Gloucester accent, and it's not the Boston or the New York accent. It's it's the Gloucester accent, being right on the water, away from the interior.
Gloucester is like one of my favorite places on the planet besides Maine.
So you've been before?
Oh God, yeah. I grew up here in Western Mass, like in basically Greenfield, right near Amherst College.
Mm-hmm. Very familiar with that area.
Oh yeah, born and raised here. So we've gone to Gloucester. That whole area, Boston, and it's so funny because when people meet me, they're like, "You don't have that Boston accent," and I'm like, even though I'm only, maybe an hour and a half ride from Boston, it's just like when you cross over the little border, everyone loses that true Boston accent.
Correct.
I kind of like it. So I'm excited. Yeah. That's my long way of saying I'm excited to hear you of that little bit.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
that
it.
That New England accent.
The New England accent. I mean, we call chowder.
Chowder. That's my favorite.
I actually spell it instead of CHOWD. Yeah, I spell it CHOWDAH. Chowder.
Chowder.
Kind of like to keep New England chowder. Actually, I'm sure your listeners know that you probably talked about Gloucester before. Being out here, we have the best seafood around, Dawn. That stuff comes right off the boats. So that's as fresh as you're going to get it.
Absolutely. Like, I'm always saying I'd move two places on this planet. Number one, if I really had my, finances were not a problem, I would move over to the UK. Favorite place on earth. Nothing can compare. But if it was, in our country, it would definitely be like Maine, Gloucester, that direction.
Yeah, you like the ocean. You must love the ocean.
The ocean.
The smell of the ocean.
I mean, you've got everything. You've got the best New England food.
We do.
You've got the ocean. You've got, a lot of the wilderness still. I mean, it's just, maybe I'm partial because I grew up here, but to me, there's no more gorgeous place.
I actually, I love it out there where you live out in Greenfield, Deerfield, Illinois. I've done a lot of camping out that area. We stayed at, I believe it was the Lazy River, and I believe that was in Deerfield, Greenfield.
Oh, yes.
So that's the one where you could get in your tubes, your friend would take you up the road about 2 miles, and they drop you off, get in the river, and you come right down to your campsite. So that was perfect. And it was actually right across the street from where the Indian statue is, almost. On
Route 2, yes, the Mohawk Trail, yeah.
Right there, yes. Beautiful. We loved it up there and really enjoyed what they have. They call, I think it's the Greenfield Fair.
Yeah. Franklin County just had it.
Yeah, we went and they have like a folklore festival, so you can listen to music for the day. You can bring your beer and your cooler or whatever you, wine coolers or whatever you like.
I knew you. There's another New England thing of wine coolers.
Yeah, wine cooler, right? I'm strictly beer, Sam Adams, or anything. I'll drink anything light. I don't like dark beer. I don't like bitter beer. I'm more of a light ale. Ipswich Ale's pretty good, or Cape Ann Brewery's going to run nice places up there as well. But getting back to Greenfield, you guys have some at that Greenfield Fair. You have the Hot Balloon Festival that they have up there, and it's amazing at night how they all light up and they all go up at the same time. They all light up different colors. It was so cool. We really enjoyed it up there.
I know, isn't it? Well, they usually have the balloon festival, which is usually in July, right? And every year it seems to big prison.
Right.
You know, not that I've ever been there, but I live near there.
Yeah.
And every year it was like right over the hill from the prison is where they would have the balloon festival, and they would have fireworks, like, and it was always like right on my birthday, so it was always really cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there. People are really great out there too.
Maybe maybe I'm a little tarnished from, you know, living here, but I don't know. I never struck me as the friendliest place.
Yeah, they opened up their arms to us, arms and all, and so they welcomed us right in. So, I don't know, maybe it was the accent, Dawn.
It could be.
Maybe we charmed them. You know what I mean? But, and another good point about it is being out there. I love being out there in the summertime because that's, you know, when you guys get mostly severe weather. When we were out there, we experienced a severe storm and got to see what Mother Nature can do out in central or western Massachusetts. You guys get some great storms out there because it doesn't get influenced off the ocean. So you miss the marine influence, and you get it before it gets to our area, near the coastline,
Oh my gosh,
and then weakens. Correct?
Well, where I live, it's like, you know, in Montague, it's more of a wooded area. And, I mean, we get rain, we get snow. I mean, no matter what the weather is, if it's a little off, we lose power.
Yeah, trees aren't made like they are out here.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. We always say if, like, a squirrel farts the wrong way on one of the lines, our power's gone.
Right. You have a lot of pine trees out there.
Mm-hmm.
So they can snap at 35, 40 miles an hour compared to our maple, oak. They can withstand 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts in some cases, but most cases they'll come down. But yeah, pine trees will snap quicker from the weight of the wind. Just the way the wind blows, it's kind of like a spine. You know, imagine yourself and your spine and your body. So you get a pine tree, so it'll swing a lot quicker. So that kind of like I guess you could do like a slinky or a spine, but it'll move in a certain direction. Well, with an oak tree or a maple tree, they're stronger. They're more built more to extend the force of the winds compared to a pine tree. Pine trees, branch is pretty small.
See, you've taught me something about my area that I did not even know. You have schooled me.
Well, there you go. Now you know why you lose power all the time out there.
I know. Whatever it is, it's very inconvenient. Now, I'm going to ask a dumb question, but again, this is why you do what you do.
Right.
What was it, about 4 years ago when we had that really bad storm, not the snowstorm? I forget the official name of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was
4 years ago?
Yeah, it was about 4 years ago.
So in that'd be 2010, okay.
And I mean, we got hurricane whatever. As I said, my mind's scattered. I can't think of the.
Are we talking about Sandy?
No.
It came up the Mid-Atlantic and went into New York?
Was that about 4 years ago?
Well, I think it was Irene.
It really hit New England hard.
It was Sandy. We haven't had a hurricane, Dawn, in about 23 to 25 years.
And are you like just the Gloucester area?
All of New England has not experienced a hurricane in about 23 to 25 years, especially southern New England. So that would be Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and then you can add Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont if you want. I wouldn't call a hurricane hitting Vermont that destructive because by the time it gets up there, it's not as intense as when it comes into Long Island or Connecticut or Massachusetts.
Right.
But I don't recall any hurricane in 2010 If I go back, I don't have my analogs with me, but it could have very well been Sandy.
I'm trying to think. It was around. Yeah, it was right around the very end of August, of like the very first few days of September.
Hurricane Sandy was in 2012. Or in 2014. Okay, so it's probably Hurricane Sandy then. Okay, good. We got that.
Our yard was, I mean, everyone was, but our yard was like totally messed. Big tree fell across. I mean, it was just like, unfortunately, I wasn't really paying attention to the weather, which I should have been. I'm kind of like one of those people, everyone's like, oh, what's the weather? And I'm like, I don't know, look outside.
Are you sure you're not talking about a tornado touchdown out there back then? 4 years ago?
No. It was like the really high winds and the rain. I mean, but the winds were like, it was like crazy.
Mm-hmm. How long did it last for?
Oh, my gosh.
A few hours, half an hour?
It was like a day thing.
Okay.
I know it's like a complete idiot right now, but, you know.
No, not at all.
I'm a blonde. What can I tell you?
That's okay. I'm bald.
That's true.
You know what's funny? I say about not getting my hair done? It's great. I mean, I just like hop in the shower and I'm in and out in 5 seconds. Get the soap and boom, you're done.
I'm the total opposite. I'm like, even though, I have hair, obviously, but I'm out in the hair. I'm doing the extensions, you know. It's like, you know, can't get enough hair on my head.
Yeah. And I have a lot of friends of mine that are into, well, not into, but they work at salons and stuff like that. Some of my female friends, and they always want me to come in and get my hair done. But
and
you know,
I'm
bald. Yeah, I'll take a scalp massage. You know, you want to rub my head? Fine, that's cool. You know,
I would think that would feel really good. But you know what's really hot? I'm just throwing this out there, and a guy, you know, who purposely shaves his head, you know, bald, with a goatee.
Yeah.
Especially if you dark hair, or you originally had dark hair.
It's funny you say that. I shave my head probably twice a week. So let it grow up just a little bit, because you don't want to shave right away. Because if you shave right away after a day, then you can irritate your skin, and you can you'd be more apt to get a cut on your head than you would if you wait a few days to let it grow out a little bit. As far as goatees go, I have a goatee, but I'm getting old, so it's starting to turn white all around the edges, which I think is kind of cool. You know, it's kind of like a Hulk Hogan look. No.
But that's attractive on men. Like men, you know, a lot of women may be pissed at me right now, but this is just my opinion. Men get more attractive as they get older. It's just how it is, and women just don't. You know, not saying that there's not attractive women over, we'll say, the age of 40.
Right.
You know, because I've certainly known and seen my share, but really on the norm, men just are so much more attractive.
Well, thank you. We us men, we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and then you guys start going for the young chicks. And it's like, see, I always say that it's one of God's cruel jokes, because, you know, when women get over 40, that's when, you know, you're horny all the time. You know, we'll just talk about sex a little bit here. You're horny all the time. And,
women or men?
Women.
Yeah.
And so, and like, guys your age, you know, really aren't into it that much anymore. So it's the young guys, and I'm like, it just, you know, it just doesn't fit right.
Yeah.
Just my personal experience.
Yeah, I don't think guys ever lose that, you know, intentions. You know, I think you disagree?
Well, I mean, not as much as women, but you know, in my personal experience, I think things tend to slow down after 35. Because it certainly isn't like when, you know, a 21-year-old young guy.
Right.
Again,
well, I mean,
my opinion.
we all love sex. I mean, you can't, you know, and everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. It's just, you know, sometimes
I do, I admit.
Sometimes people get tired, they come home from work, the other, you know, the picnic another wants to, well, it's not going to happen this way because I'm going to bed or I'm eating dinner and then I'm going to sleep, you know, so I guess you have to compromise, but that's not my expertise. I'm not a sex therapist.
Oh, come on now.
Hey, who knows, right? Who would think? But, yeah, I'm not a sex therapist. I do know some things, but that's just not for radio.
Well, see, that's why I like being me, because I'll just talk about whatever I feel like talking about, and I'll just put it out there. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I love your show. I mean, I love that you just talk about anything you want. I mean, that's the best thing, because then, you know, if you have a guest and you come up with, oops, what am I going to ask them now, or her, or, okay, well, here, anything goes. You can just switch conversation and topic to something different, and it's fine. It'll go back to the other way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, I found that, like, working with clients, you know, in the beauty industry, you know, the older you get, or the older I get, you have so many more different experiences in life. Right. And it's kind of like, you know, we end up talking about so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which is what gave me the idea to do the radio show. I'm like, you know, I love talking about, like, everything from sex to, you know, whatever, paranormal, whatever you want to put on there, because I've had so many different life experiences. And I just think it makes for a more interesting person.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. I mean, it's great. It's great what you do.
But I want to talk to you about, you know, your real expertise.
Talk to me about anything you want, hon.
Do you make a really good homemade chowder? No, just kidding.
You know, it's funny you ask that, because I've never made it on my own. I've always had someone make it for me, whether it be my grandma or my mom, or I go to a friend's restaurant where I know the cook, and they'll do it really nice. Or even, you know what? Get this. Market Basket gets a good New England clam chowder from Boston. You would think that, you know, they just get it and it comes in a bag or whatever.
Yeah.
But from what I'm hearing, they get it from a real seafood client of theirs, and they bring it right in, and it's unbelievable. I get it a lot for lunchtime in my office. It's really good, and it's what, $3.89 for a bowl. So I get 2 bowls, so that's almost like lunch and dinner.
Right.
But it's delicious. It's actually delicious.
I always consider myself a chowder connoisseur. Like, everywhere I go, no matter where it has been in the world, you know, except China. You wouldn't want to get chowder in China. Trust me on that one. But I always have to try it.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to get Chinese. I wouldn't want to get seafood in a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, when we were in China, the best things to stick with were all vegetables and vegetarian things, and rice.
Yeah.
Although they did have a damn good bacon, and I'm not a big meat eater, but this bacon, and I don't even want to know what kind of animal it came from.
Yeah.
It would totally ruin it, but it was the best bacon I've ever had in my life. But I realize I'm totally off subject here. People are probably like, who cares about bacon and chowder?
It's probably squirrel or rat.
As I said, you know, they had all different delicacies. I mean, I saw they had turtle, they had these, and I don't think I couldn't eat something I had as a pet, but I had a turtle when I was a kid, and they were these little turtles about the size of your hand, and their little shells were upside down, and the limbs and the head and everything were inside the shell. So, I mean, you couldn't see it. So I would sit and watch these businessmen pull off the flat part of the shell and eat, and it would just, I would be sitting there, and it was it's better than watching TV. It was a little disturbing, but yet was really, really interesting.
Nice. That sounds pretty good.
So I want to know how you got into doing leather, and how long has it been your thing?
Oh, I got into leather when I was 7 years old.
Oh my!
I was Blizzard in 1978.
Oh yeah.
I was living in Marlborough, Massachusetts at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my dad went out and shoveled a tunnel for us so we could get around. It was about 40 inches of snow back then, and it had to be, I would say, probably drifts were as high as 8 to 10 feet. It was crazy. And he made a snow tunnel for us, and I thought that was really cool. So we went through the tunnel. I was 7 years old, yeah. And my sister, I think she was 5. So I had 2 years on her. And my brother was 4. So I think we were all 2 years apart, which is pretty cool. So that makes me the oldest. But yeah, and so Mother Nature really became a friend of mine. After that snowstorm, we got to miss school, which was cool.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I think we missed it for probably 6 days, 7 days, or something. I know 128 was closed down for at least a week or so. And that night, my dad was trying to drive home, and he got stuck in the blizzard, but somehow managed a way to find his way home. Before 128 was a parking lot.
A parking lot.
The cars were backed up.
Park in the yard.
Oh yeah, the cars were backed up. The whole Mass Pike, 128, everything was just standstill. People. I think people died in that. I'm pretty sure. It was just a really horror storm. So, anyways, getting back to the subject, that got me into leather. And ever since growing up, I just studied charts, computer models, went over my own forecast techniques, and started reporting outside during storms. Been on a few stations, and just went from there. I mean, my biggest as far as weather goes, or I guess you could say thrill, my element would be the wind, because I love the power of Mother Nature, and just seeing what a wind gust can do, and hearing. I mean, see, you're in central western Massachusetts, so I'm on the ocean. I can hear the ocean when I go to sleep, so I hear the waves crashing from my bedroom when I go to sleep. So the waves, if the waves are crashing a lot, if you hear the sets coming in quicker and quicker, and it sounds like the surf's real bigger, and this is the night before a storm, what I'll do is I'll go to sleep for 4 or 5 hours after I get home from work, and then I will be ready to stay up all night for the storm. And I have my video cameras. I got my live stream that I have with Ustream. I got my camera, and I'm ready to go. I go out right into the elements. I love it. So then again, getting back to wind, if you just experience hearing the gust come off the ocean, it takes about a couple minutes to come on shore, but it's all open, so there's not much of a I forget the name for.
Like a barrier?
Yeah, there's not much of a barrier. There's not much friction. So when the winds come off the ocean, there's really no friction. So the winds will come down from above at 850 millibars or what have you, and they'll come right down to the surface, right to the ocean, and then they'll spread out. Now, in the northeast wind, like we usually get in our nor'easters, it tends to do that. It comes down, and then boom. So you hear the gust off the ocean, and you're like, oh, man, that was a big roar. And then you count about 2 minutes, and then or not even 2 minutes, about 25, 30 seconds. And then it comes flying through, and then you see the trees. Oh, you got to see these big trees sway. And then just the power of Mother Nature herself, and those branches snapping and breaking. It's just so much fun. So exciting. So I love all that. Thunderstorms is another big thing of mine. I lived in Tampa for a couple of years. I think it was 1999 to 2002. And I've never witnessed anything that a thunderstorm has ever down at Tampa, living down at Tampa, Florida. The lightning was insane. It was like coming right from the devil himself. I mean, I never got under a bed before. Well, guess what? I got under a bed because the lightning was coming down all around our house. I had 3 roommates, and they were all females. This is when I first moved down. It was so cheap to live down there. We were paying I was paying about $150 a month for rent in Tampa.
Dang.
Okay? Now, if you throw that up 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 times up in Gloucester, Mass. Your average house goes for about, I would say, $500,000, and you can get a decent one for $275 or $350, $100,000. But a family home averages quite high. So that's why it's really hard for people to live on the island up here. It's so beautiful, and it should be cheaper. But anyways, getting back to Tampa. So I've never witnessed lightning like that in my lifetime. And it actually is the capital of the world as far as lightning goes.
Is it really?
In lightning fatalities and lightning strikes. I think it is. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to that. But Tammy says it's what is shaking? Huh. Well, that's just like I'm reading the chat room. But
I still haven't figured out how to get in there. I'm like, I'm just going to worry about one thing at a time.
You are?
I can't. It was the chat room. I can't even figure out how to get in there. So I apologize if anyone asks me a question, but I'm not in there because, I seriously, between my little iPad and my phone, I still can't figure out how to do it. It doesn't let me in, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's probably just me.
No, it's fine. So the lightning, I just never witnessed anything like that, and I actually worked outdoors for a communications company down there, laying fiber optics, being around all that lightning, and when they say, get in the hole, we got our hard helmets on, and boom, that lightning's coming down all over. I've seen a couple tornadoes on my trip from New England to Florida in my move. One was going across I-95 in North Carolina, and that ripped up the pavement right off the highway.
Oh, my God.
And I saw trees snapping all around, so I was loving it, At the time, I didn't have my weather app up, or system. It says, you're going into a warned zone, tornado ahead. I didn't have all that stuff working, but and then I came back to New England because being down in Florida, you tend to miss the cold and the snow. Having Christmas with the palm trees is nothing like being back at home. So as soon as I got home, believe it or not, I got off the plane, I kissed the ground. I was so happy. Well, I waited till I got back here, I kissed the sand. Because the beach is right there.
We used to go to Florida a lot, and I couldn't stand it. And we actually had the opportunity to move down there, and financially, obviously, it would have been awesome. It probably would have been great for me with, what I do, working year-round, because in New England, people don't go to the salon as much as they do, like in the summer. But I couldn't stand being down there with the heat, and I'm a cold weather person all the way, and you can't beat the charm of New England, especially like right now this time of year. I was picking my girls up from school, and just like today driving, I'm like, this it is so gorgeous in New England. It just really is.
So right, and we got the fall foliage coming up pretty soon, so you're going to start to see the leaves start to turn colors in the next. Where you are, I'd say give it what are we, the 18th, or 19th?
19th.
What's it?
No,
today's the 19th.
18th.
Okay, so tomorrow's 19th. So we don't want to jump a day ahead, right?
No, don't.
I would give it probably September 25th, 26th. You might start seeing some colors out there, and you'll probably be past peak by October 4th or 5th. But yeah, we got the foliage to look forward to.
And the holidays. I mean, you can't be, one of my favorite things to do around, November, December is to drive out into Boston. With things being decorated, the lights,
right.
The typical New England houses, and what I love about it is all the houses look different.
Yeah.
I found Florida to be everything looked the same.
Yeah, all batted down homes, yeah.
So I was just thinking about what you said about the wind. Now, I kind of have an obsession with the wind also. But I always looked at it from a paranormal, psychic point of view because you might feel the same way, but on windy days, I feel like besides being Mother Nature blowing, air around, there's an energy that you can pick up. Mm-hmm. And to me, it just makes, I don't know, there's just this underlying, is it kinetic energy, whatever word you want to put there. Like when there's like a lightning storm, you pick up, if you're a little bit more sensitive or whatever, you pick up that energy.
Right. Yeah.
Now,
I mean, go ahead.
Now, how long have you been doing or been interested in the paranormal?
I've been interested in the paranormal for about, I'd say, 4 years now. 4 years? 1, 2? No, I don't know. 3 years? God, time's flying by. So I really, to be honest with you, I can't give you a complete date. But I got involved with my friend. I was a weather reporter, and I was I reported for the Bridge, which was a local community type thing that we had up here in Gloucester. I was asked by a friend to be, to be the weatherman on the Bridge, which I was all honored to do, and I did. Then things happened, so I had to leave. But I met Mark Arvilla from Masco Scientist Paranormal Society through the Bridge. I'd known him before in school. I got a year or two on him, or maybe 3. I don't remember. And then I was introduced into the paranormal. Growing up as a kid, I've witnessed paranormal things happen before. I've been in a house where dishes would fly and stuff, and my babysitter was freaking out. I guess we were all freaking out. And then, getting older, and like I said, working with the Bridge, and then I met Mark Carvella. And then he introduced me and brought me out one time with them. Mike Gallant himself, Mary Lou, I believe his sister Doris Arvilla also went. And that was it. We went out to the Houghton Mansion out in North Adams, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even though I don't live, I still have, even though I live so close, I still have yet to go there.
Yeah. If you ever get a chance to get out there. I've been there, gone 4 times, and I may be going out November 8th. My friend Dom, Ghost Hunter, Dom Bouchard from Quebec, Canada, is going to be out there, or Montreal is going to be out there, and he invited me to go. So I'm going to see if I can get out there. I don't have my daughter, because sometimes it coincides with my daughter's weekends, but she comes first, so I can't change anything like that. But yeah, the Houghton Mansion is a great place to go if you get the chance. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the Masonic Lodge. Mr. Houghton's room. I forget the woman's name. Is it Whittier's room? I think it's Whittier's room. I'm not sure. I might have the wrong house. I'm not good with names, Dawn. All I know is that I'm a magnet, and that's why they love having me. So they got me involved in it. I enjoyed it. So they asked me to go out again. I asked, and I actually documented one for them, a video, because I was going to put it on the bridge. And then I went to the Victorian Mansion with Mark, Mike Gallant, and then Lauren Sheridan became part of Nashville Sons Paranormal Society after, I believe it was that fest from Fort Williams Henry the first year. Paracon won. And I got to meet a lot of great people up there. I got to meet John Tobin and Kathy Chabot. Two good friends. Great people. I got to meet Brian Kano. Got to meet Joe Chen. I could just go on and on. That's where I got to meet Mark's former fiancée, Lauren Sheridan, and a bunch more. The girls from Rachel Hoffman.
Yep.
And Tori. I don't want to pronounce her name right. Tori Stoner. Did I say it right?
Tori spelling. I'm sure. I wouldn't brag about knowing Tori so much.
So yeah, I had a great time out at Lake Dordt. Beautiful out there.
Now, were you there in May, this past May?
No, I didn't get a chance. Everybody wanted me to go out there. They wanted me to be the Paracon 2 weatherman, and John tried so hard to get me out there. I just couldn't do it. I had a previous engagement at the time. But my first time out there, I loved it. It's a beautiful lake.
It is.
Even walking around outside around the Fort Williams Henry Hotel right on the fort, you can pick up stuff. I took pictures. We got an orb. You could hear troops marching, or you could hear Indian. I don't know. We just heard some really weird voices out along on the campus around the hotel, and inside the hotel. I think something happened in our room. I have to ask Mark again, but I don't remember what it was. But something happened in our room. We had a big suite, which was great, and the whole deal was great. So he had his own area. Then the door opened up, and there was a big bed in there. So, it was just a great time. And they had speakers. John Zeffis was there. Chip Coffey was there.
He's so sweet.
Yeah, I got to meet him. He was so cool. I think he spoke. I'm pretty sure he was one of the speakers as well. Because I believe he was a demonologist, right? Correct? Am I wrong?
Yes.
Yep. So he was speaking, so that was really cool. So I just really enjoyed it out there. People were really friendly. A lot of things were closed down at that time, but we got to hit the Adirondacks bar across the street, whatever. I bought some beer and brought back home, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I went in May, and it was I had such a great time. It was great. And I would just walk down and walk along the lake there, and just walking around, as you said, the outside of the fort, you could just feel this underlying energy. And then we went on the investigation Saturday night, and I actually had to leave I don't know, maybe 25 minutes into it, because when I was inside the fort, my head hurt and my leg, I felt like I was shot in the leg, and I was in so much pain that I left. I went back to I stayed in I think it was the older part, so I had a lake view, and I was begging people for ibuprofen or Motrin. I was in such pain, so I couldn't even finish. So something got to me when I was in there, and I did. I felt like someone had, not that I've ever been shot before, but that was the closest way to explain it.
Yeah, and we were out in the fort area at Fort Williams Henry at night, You know, I gotta say, Dawn, I'm not a big fan of going to these big group
Me neither.
investigations.
I
think
agree.
it sucks. I'm
It
sorry.
does.
Coming from a weatherman standpoint, coming from a paranormal standpoint, it just sucks. It takes out all the excitement, the investigation, the fun. You got a group of 30 friggin' people with you, and they're sitting, and you're in an area, and everybody's trying to be quiet, and no one's shutting up.
And there's always an
hear
asshole.
anything. Oh, there's always an asshole. You get some girl in there. I'm sorry, I don't know who it was, but she's like, she thought she had an answer for everything, and she didn't even know anything about the paranormal. And you could see the looks on all the people's faces. You know, a couple of them I won't mention. They're really good friends of mine, but you could see the looks of their faces, and you're just like, yeah, this isn't it. So I just wanted to break away from the group and go on my own, which eventually I did. And I didn't really pick up that much there. But again, the noise just ruins it for everybody. And you can't have I'd just rather go with, you know, Mass Ghost Hunts Paranormal Society team, or if another group wanted to invite me to do an investigation, I'd love to join. If we're close by, or investigation was close by, I'd love to go out there with you guys, check it out. But yeah, I don't want to be no more than at least the least would be about 15. You're talking 30 people, 40, 50 people in one place. The noise convergence is going to be awful, and you won't be able to debunk. You have to debunk everything. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing, and from a psychic point of view, it ruins, like, when I go to those group things, I'm going number one because normally it'd be really difficult to get into a place like that.
Yeah.
You know, because so many places charge so much money, and they won't open the place up to just, a very small group.
Yeah.
And I love the historical fact of wherever it is I go, but you can't pick up a lot as a psychic when you have that many people. You just can't. It's, I mean, there's a really strong presence, yes, but again, I can't stand being around that many people anyway, so I always chalk it up to me just being me. And there's always someone who won't, as you said, there's always a female that's freaking out, that won't stop talking to her boyfriend, or there's some guy who thinks he has the answer for everything.
Right, or there's someone like, I gotta go to the bathroom, I gotta make a noise, or I gotta walk away. You know what, whatever, there's a break time, but still, I can't be in the kindergarten doing an investigation. That's how I felt at Fort William Center. Not to take anything away from Glory Haunt Hounds, because they did a great job putting that show on. I have so much respect, love, and faith for John Tobin and Kathy Chavit, and everybody that helped put on Paracon. It was a great friggin' time. The only thing I didn't enjoy the most was the investigation. And I'm just being honest. Like I said, I can't be around a big group of people during an investigation. What I do, Dawn, is if I want to just go investigate, I'll take myself and I'll go to Hammond's Castle, which is about 10 minutes from my house.
Oh, is it? Love that place. Oh, my God, this is awesome.
I will pay the $10. Come on, anytime. I'll take you on a tour. I'll pay the $10. I'll go in. I'll have my EVP. I'll have my recorder. I'll have my camera. And you know what? You don't have to go on a tour. You can go any way you want, and there's no time limit. So I'll go in each room. I'll go in each room and spend 20, 30 minutes in each room and walk through. Yeah, there's no time limit, and they're open all day. So once you pay your $10, you can stay there the entire day. There's no limit. Even if you do a tour, they'll take you around. They'll tell you the history of just the Hammond's Castle and all that. But yeah, there's no time limit, and I think they're open from 10 a.m. till 5 or 6 p.m. During seasonal times. I don't know. I know that October they have the Halloween thing coming up, the haunted house, and they also do medieval work there and everything. Yeah, I love that place. It's like one of my, I'd say sanctuaries. I just love going there. It's peaceful, and then again, it can be dark. Because you go into these halls and it's dark. Something, just say something to me. I took my daughter there. We had the time of our life. She loved it. She's like, Daddy, look, the rope's moving by the bed. No, honey, that's the people walking around. It's the wind doing it. No. I look. Daddy, that dish just moved. You know, it was great. But I'll tell you this. Mr. Hammond made a weather machine that he could make it rain, thunder, and he could make clouds inside his castle. And
was it in where the little pond pool thing is?
Yeah, and if you go inside the castle, you'll see the replica of the machine or itself. Also in that castle is a head that was given to him by Christopher Columbus of one of these guys that was a soldier of another army or whatever, I don't know. They chopped his head off and they gave it to him as a trophy or award. Well, that head is in the foyer where they have the piano. So the grand room, I usually call it the ballroom or whatever, but it's the grand room, where they have the medieval festival. So that head is very scary. You look at that thing, you take a picture of it, it looks like it wants to speak to you. But it's a real friggin' head. But now, it's a skull, basically. But it was given to him as a gift. Can you imagine someone giving you a head as a gift?
I think, I'd be like, wow, that's really thoughtful. But, yeah, I think I could do without that. Although there are a few people whose heads on a platter I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all have those.
I don't. Actually, you know what? We probably shouldn't be talking about heads because there's just too many things going on with heads lately. This is making me sick to my stomach, to be honest with you.
Oh, yep. I saw a thing on Facebook, which I won't even get into, and, Now, how old is your daughter?
My daughter, she's 10. 10 and a half. 10.
Okay. Yeah. I have a just turned 11-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Yeah, she's very smart.
Oh, I'm sure she is.
Yeah.
And don't you love getting her into the paranormal? Well, I don't push it with my children, obviously, because I don't believe, because I had my own bad experiences growing up, but, letting them in a little bit or just giving them the information.
Absolutely. But then there's a time where you have to say, okay, well, I don't want to get her too much into it because then she's not going to sleep at night, Oh,
absolutely. And, right.
You don't want the nightmares, even at that age, because then if she doesn't sleep at night, guess what? You don't sleep at night.
Yes.
Because when kids have nightmares, it's just not good. But I don't think it's great to bring them into it. But again, Hammond's Castle is a family-orientated place. I wouldn't take my daughter to a haunted house. I wouldn't take my daughter to a cemetery. I wouldn't take her. I probably would not take her on a real investigation.
Oh no, I don't believe in bringing even to me anything under 18. Honestly,
that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, you know what? If she's mature at 16, 17, then okay. But I would really say 18 and above if she would like to go on investigation.
They're so vulnerable. I mean, they're
exactly. You're open.
So open.
Right.
And the whole attachment thing, which I've had happen before, and it really freaking affects your life.
Oh, it does. It does.
It really, really does.
It does. And with me being a magnet, you can ask anyone. You can ask Tammy. You can ask Mark. That's why I love having on these investigations. We'll go quickly to the Victorian Mansion. Joni Mayhem wrote the book Bones in the Basement. Well,
yeah, I was there a couple of weeks ago. She's awesome.
If you get the book, which I'll be there in October at the Gardner Victorian S.K. Pierce Mansion for the book signing, when she'll be signing books, so I'll be out there for that event. I'll bring my marker in case anybody wants a signature. Because, believe it or not, I am in the book, and Mark Carvilla, Mike Gallant, Lauren Sheridan, Masco Sons Paranormal Society's all in there. They did a chapter on the team, which was great because, at that time I wasn't really part of the team, so my heart and everything that I have goes up to all of Mark and Lauren and Mike for, bringing me on board and actually getting me in the book and telling my story. Because, again, I saw the apparition at the top of the stairs that night and knocked over a candlestick that was 6 feet high, and the candles had to weigh about I'd say about 5 pounds each of those big, thick, fat candles. And I saw this apparition pop around. I saw these big black beady eyes and a skeleton-like type Raiders of the Lost Ark body type thing, like out of the Holy Grail. And it really friggin' freaked me out. Where I can't believe I didn't, pee my pants. It was that bad. I was freaked out. But I think more after it happened, I was within 5 inches from that thing. It was 8 feet tall. It was about 3-4 inches off the ground. And one of my co-investigators that was there with us, MJ from Canada, K&M, which is Dawn's friend, which we all became friends, she saw the same thing. But we were hysterical in laughter, but I think that was because we were, in shock. And we're trying to get the fear out. Because, again, I said this and I've stated all in all, I will never sleep with my TV off ever again since that. And I haven't. The TV's always been on. If the timer goes off, dawn, I get up, I get my controller, I turn it back on, I control on my bed and keep it by my pillow. I can't do it. It just freaks. It's that picture that I saw freaked me out, and it was looking at me, and it didn't look at me nice. And it was close, and I thought it was coming. I mean, the beady eyes were like the size of friggin' 8 balls on a pool table. It was so friggin' freaky out. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. So
when we were
cool.
down in the basement, it was so awesome because I'd been there before, but it was with a big group of people. And so when I went a couple weeks ago, there was only 6 of us.
Yeah.
And Joni was there, and it was my first time meeting her, and I just loved her.
Right.
And we
was that when Jason Stanton was out there?
Yeah. We Jason, I was his co-host on Ghost Chat Radio.
Cool.
And we were in the basement, and what I experienced, now of all the places I've been, that place, I've had the most visuals. And there was I described it, basically what you just described. I said if I had to put a description on it, it was like a 7-foot tall, like black, huge, and I was sitting in a chair and Joni was right next to me, and like that was the closest in my life I came to poo in my pants. And it was so intense, and it was standing right next to me, like my elbow was on the chair, it was standing right there.
Yeah.
And
that basement can get...
Yeah, and then everyone lost power, like, because we were doing the live investigation, and then, everything just went. And it was, that place is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Especially that room where we got the clowns at the chair. That's pretty freaky, huh?
Oh, yeah.
You're like one clown like another clown. They're like smiling. I'm like, okay, there's no way I'm sleeping up in this area.
Do you remember when the movie, because we're about around the same age, when the movie, TV movie It came out?
Yeah,
We're talking like, what, 1989 here or whatever?
Yeah,
and we actually, I went to...
Spielberg's. I'm sorry, no.
Stephen King.
Yeah.
And, the whole clown thing, I mean, who likes clowns anyway? I don't know, but we went to a mall, because we went to, was it King Richard's Fair?
Yeah.
And so we were out in that area, so we went to this mall, and this guy dressed just like...
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
To start your show now, press 1.
Your show is scheduled to start in 4 minutes, 19 seconds. Minutes until showtime.
weather forecaster. He used to be on the DJ radio, the sports. So he does everything Weather Maine, so I'm glad to have him. And also I will have on at the same time Quincy Ogle, and he is a storm chaser, a meteorologist out of Connecticut. He travels the country and chases tornadoes and severe storms, and I'm hoping to get out there as soon as I can. That would be awesome.
That would be the balls, wouldn't it? That'd be fun.
Yeah. you can follow me on DTM. I'm sorry. You can follow my Facebook fan page. It's Wicked Weather. Just look for DTM, so make sure you got the right Wicked Weather page. And on Twitter, at Peter Lovasco, Northeast Mass Stormwatch. You can follow me on Twitter there. So, other than that,
well, I'm hoping to actually meet you in person. I mean, maybe in November. I saw you, the where is that in Lenox? Which I'm so excited about going there. Again, unfortunately, it's probably going to be a big crowd of people, but
yeah.
I already bought my ticket, so
I'm going to see. I'm going to see if I can get around that. I'm going to hope to get out there on November 15th, I believe.
Yeah.
So if I can work something out, I think Mark's going to save a ticket for me for a little bit because he knows I love this stuff and that.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get a room out there, that'd be great. I don't want to drive all the way out there, investigate to 1 a.m. and then drive home. But
I'm getting a room.
Weather permitting, because November 15th, I'm sure there will be snow on the ground this year. It's gone.
Oh, really?
I am predicting. If you give me 1 minute, I will tell you. I am predicting a colder than normal average winter, and I am predicting above normal snowfall. If the negative oscillation, which is the NAO, North Atlantic Oscillation, if it does turn colder and Greenland block is to the north and everything's set up the ridge, jet stream, then we're looking at a lot of snow and a lot of cold. But if it's further south, then it's just going to be very super cold. So you just want to tell everybody out there it's going to be super cold winter coming up. Guaranteed it's going to be super cold winter. As far as snow goes, I don't have the numbers, but I will. Give me a couple weeks, and I'll let you know.
I always talk too long, so I always go over my time. Thank you so much. Anyone wants to contact me, Dawn Hayden on Facebook. I don't do Twitter and all that stuff. I just can't get into all that. But contact me on Facebook or through DTM Radio. And thank you again, Peter. And I'm going to actually send you a text in a minute because I have a question for you.
Thank you, Dawn. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.